Yeah, what's cracking? You already know what it is. And like I always say, ain't nothing new under the sun. So I actually just wanted to take the time just to give a little update because I know I've been rolling a little slow with any new videos. But reason being is that my actual case with New York State and 1199 SEIU, who I now affectionately refer to as Tether House. Well, I've been working on the third installment of the David and Goliath series, and for chapter 3, it will be the American Horror Story, aka Enter the Tether House, which will be the 1199 SEIU segment of this whole ongoing series of showing what you actually have to do when your unions no longer support its members and then in fact assist the institution in backdooring its union due paying members. And fortunately for me, I was smart enough to document all of it. So that being said, I actually, the last few days, I took all the documentation that I had on the two externals, I consolidated them onto one external, and then I made multiple copies. I'm not gonna say the total amount, but just know it's way more than 3. But yeah, anyways, I'm actually preparing those right now to get those in the mail to their undisclosed locations, just in case, right? Kind of like what they call that, like a kill switch, just in case something happens. There is copies of all the raw data and all the information that can get to us prospective destinations if need be. Yeah, that being said, there's a few things that I did actually want to touch on though before we get to the whole Tether House section of it. And one is that we're going to be actually outlining and defining what an actual tether is, because I know a lot of people feel like just because they're of an immigrant lineage, whether they're naturalized citizens or first generation and they were born here, that constitutes a tether, and it's not. And a tether is actually individuals who come here and attach themselves to our cultural lineage when it's convenient. But when it's time to stay on code there, it's the me no black. But then when ICE is knocking on the door, just like Ilhan Omar, oh, I'm protected under the 13th and 14th Amendment, and all this other bullshit, as if they us. And this is the shit that we've been talking about that has been going on for way too long. And now we all as a collective standing on business. But what I'm going to show you are how these exact people have used the union and our dues to push an agenda, and they're doing it at the expense of us, the American citizens, and their union due paying members. You see, I couldn't get Evelyn Campos Santos to get off her ass and do her job. Mr. Ashby didn't want to do his job. And I went down to the office to meet with him. I literally sat down in there for almost an hour. I met with his assistant, Gina, and I don't know her personally, but what I can say from just my interactions with her in that day, she was doing her job and as she was supposed to do. But as you'll see as we get into this, it took him 2 months. He said he was going to respond to me in 24 to 48 hours. It took him 2 months to get back to me, and that was only because I kept pushing the issue and pushing the line. And then when he got back to me, he had to ask me what my phone number was in the email, when my phone number and all my demographics was in the initial email of the thread. But again, this is the vice president of 1199, Stacey Gray's replacement, who I also have audio on, who's also a part of this, who doesn't do their job. Who else we got out there? I'm missing somebody. Laura Goodwin. And this is what happens when those from the crib decide to align themselves and get destiny swap, because you also said you had no idea what was going on. But as we're going to soon see, I'm going to prove otherwise. But yeah, anyways, I went every way up and down the line. And every time they told me that I couldn't do something or they refused to do something, I documented. When they wanted to play with me on my grievance hearing for my arbitration, I reached out to the then at the time president, which I have the receipts, and I got that line popping. Every way down the line, everything that I needed to do, I did. And part of the reason I did it is because I always wanted people to know and see that we are the ones with the power. We are the ones that are actually in control. And until you start moving as such, all you're going to do is find yourself in a place where you always got some shit to complain about, when you can actually stop all the shit that you're complaining about. And the other way that I'm going to show you and prove to you that 1199 SEIU is the Tether House is because while I documented them ignoring me and not assisting me, and per the law, under federal law, the union has an obligation to represent all of its members when asked to do so, especially if they have just cause, which I more than proven that I did, because when I filed my complaint against NYU, the EEOC ruled in my favor. So now I just have to show where 1199 SEIU, aka Tether House, was just blatantly disrespectful and just didn't do their fucking job. Ain't no other way else to explain it. So yeah, that's actually what's been working on now. I'm getting all the footage together, getting everything edited because it's a lot. In this, I'm going to introduce some new characters. You'll be meeting my initial delegate who I brought in, another soil sister who I ended up having to replace with my brother in this, Kevin, aka the Gullah Richardson. And you'll see why I had to cut her loose, because this is where you'll see where the Tether House was playing both sides of the fence and trying to make it seem like as if I was the tyrant or the bad guy. Luckily and fortunate for me, I was documenting everything at that time. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna finish boxing these up, get these out to the post office, and get them to their prospective location so that they can be watched over for me in the meantime, just in case. And man, the next few days or so, I will definitely be getting part 3 to the David and Goliath saga, aka chapter 3, Enter the Tether House, 1199 SEIU. And what's crazy is that 1199 is so slow that they can't even read the room. They can't even see that their own members are tired of them using their union dues to trek up and down the East Coast and the Eastern Seaboard protecting illegal aliens. You see, I needed assistance from the union that I paid to protect me and uphold my CBA. You know what they did? They told me to fuck off. That's literally what they did. Fortunately for me, I was smart enough to document every second of it, because I knew that this day was going to come, because I was manifesting it. And that's why I say all this about what we can't do and we ain't got no power and cultural assist is bullshit. You just got to know who the fuck you are and stand on it. And that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. It. I just ain't going to stop. There's not a damn thing at this point that can fucking stop me except for me. And should something happen and I have to leave up off this rock, then just know in my next incarnation, I'm coming back, and I'm going to keep coming because I've been doing this shit every lifetime up until this point, and I ain't stopped yet. So that being said, just know that y'all about to get this work. Y'all about to get this work. And you ain't got nobody else to blame but yourselves, because I try to do this shit the nice way. And all the audio and all the video will actually prove that. And like I say, I'll be doing chapters and just showing everyone what I did to fix the situation that everyone told me I couldn't do. What everyone said that they saw what was going on, but nobody would even pick up a phone call and make an anonymous phone call to be like, oh, co-workers being harassed or this. So I had to do it myself. And even when I did it that way, I still got condemnation. Damn, man, you making them look bad. not, it's fucked up what they're doing, and they breaking all kind of federal laws and state laws. And it's crazy that you had to go to these lengths to one, protect yourself, and two, expose what NYU Langone and 1199 SEIU are collectively doing together. Because let me tell you what y'all not paying attention to. I guarantee you, if you work at NYU right now, Langone, 34th Street, in the offsites, I guarantee you in the last week, there has been an uptick in write-ups for bullshit. You know why? Because what y'all ain't paying attention to is that they about to start doing rounds and rounds of layoffs. So they're going to terminate as many people as they can out the gate so that they don't have to give them any type of severance packages, or they can try to deny their unemployment, because they know, just like what I went through, most people, if they get denied, are not going to fight for the appeal. But y'all best to know and guarantee and mark my word when I tell y'all, some shit's coming down the pipeline, and you better start paying attention, or you're going to get washed up and lost in the sauce. The union is not going to back you. They are not there backing you. Evelyn Campos Santos and all the rest of them are fucking off your money. If you remember, after the pandemic, the federal government cut a check to the hospital, and we got $2,750 as a bonus, up to that amount, depending on what tier you qualified for, right? For those that got it, because they went out their way to make sure they disqualified as many people as they could out the gate. But see, what y'all don't pay attention to or didn't remember is that 1199 also, in writing, told you that they were giving you a bonus for $3,000. My question is, where'd the money go? Did anybody tell me that? Where the money went? Pardon me. Exactly. But you know what I can tell you? We know who went to Hawaii, allegedly. We know who took their spouses to Hawaii. Ain't that right? Campos Santos! But yeah, y'all stay tuned, because your man's is getting to work, and we're going to be out cooking hotter than fish grease. So I'm going to finish chopping up these receipts and lacing them all together so I can prove when a liar's a liar, and I can show you when a tether is tethering and using your union dues to go up and down the East Coast and tell these illegal aliens how to hide in plain sight. And then they're using your dues when they're throwing you under the rug and not having grievance hearings, but they're using that to protect members who have illegal family members in the country. So they use your money to protect foreign nationals with no legal standing to be here, but they tell you to bend over and get fucked. But yeah, it is what it is, and I'm gonna slide up out of here. And you know, if you know, you know. And for those of you who are going through things like this, learn the laws of your state, because many of you live in one-party states and don't know that you have the right legally to do everything that I've been doing in this process, and ain't a damn thing they can do about it. They can come up with their corporate policies, like they said I broke NYU's film policy, even though clearly when you read it in the writing, I did no such thing. This is why I won my unemployment, and this is why I won my EEOC complaint. Exactly. But yeah, all you have to do is just follow the rules to the game. Don't sit around and complain about what you can't do or what they won't let you. Because if you do your God-given right as a sovereign, you can do what the fuck you want to do as long as you don't violate any of the protocols of land, air, and water, which is the law. Good to go. But yeah, remember, realize, and transparency forces accountability. Y'all keep your eyes to the stars, keep that head on a swivel, and just know it's a dirty game out this motherfucker. But guess what? If you keep your foot on their neck, you'll stop these motherfuckers from playing in your face. Because I tell you what, I finally got to the point. You ain't gotta like me, but you best to believe you're gonna fucking respect me. And if you think not, you can ask John Salvatore, Deborah Newman, Jennifer Gallinaro, and Fiona Moore. Someone would reach out to me in 24 to 48 hours. But I never heard anything, and then when I emailed back, 2 separate times I didn't hear anything. But my EEOC investigator was asking, what's the status of my case?
So to my understanding, you had a termination grievance that was held.
Correct.
The termination grievance was denied. I believe they took it to the chapter here in appeals. It was also denied, and I think the status of the case right now is waiting for division here in appeals to hear the case.
But
is what I understand.
the individuals that denied my case, they didn't even look at the evidence that we gave them. And I know they didn't because we gave it to them on links. And the way I set it up is that every time someone watches it, I'm notified. They never even look at the evidence. So how could they make a determination about my case without even reviewing the evidence? And then I find it odd that one of them that makes a decision after Evelyn comes back from vacation is now a organizer all of a sudden. None of this is making sense. And I've been trying to fight this case now. I've been going back and forth with this for 3 years now, and not once has any organizer or anybody, even when I met with Stacey Gray, has anyone done anything to assist me. I've had to do everything on my own. And my EEOC case is now in conciliation, which means I've proven my case, which means that 1199 has refused to represent me as a union-paying member. And nobody's telling me anything. Nobody's giving me any answers, and nobody's doing their job. But everyone's acting like I'm the problem.
So here's what I could say to you. You had a grievance. I believe you had a delegate of your choice. You went to the employer. The employer denied your grievance. It went to the committee, the chapter committee. The chapter committee denied. And the next step now is to go to division. The division.
But I'm still trying to. But sir, you're not giving me an answer on why your committee denied my hearing without even looking at the evidence, sir.
So when was your case? I will not preview to your case. I don't know anything about your case. You reached out. I'm following up with you. The process, the next step in this process is that it will now go to the division here in appeals.
But I understand that, but what I'm trying to understand is I came down there 2 months ago, and I was told within 24 to 48 hours I would hear back. Hold on one moment, sir. I came down there 2 months ago, but I was told I would hear something in 24 to 48 hours. I know that you spoke to my delegate after that saying you would call us the next day. And never anything. And I not only emailed you, I also emailed who was the organizer at the time, Evelyn, and I think it was Jasmine as well. But nobody's reached out and said anything. And these are the things that I'm talking about when I say 1199 doesn't do their job, and then you leave the members out there alone to do your job for them.
I am telling you, the next step is your grievance your grievance will now go to the division hearing appeals. The hearing appeals, I will check in with our legal team to find out when is it scheduled for. I know that there was a backlog. I will find out to get.
But how can I trust in that process if in the last process?
So let me say this to you. It's up to you whether you trust it or not. I'm following up with you to let you know what.
But I'm explaining to you, sir, that your staff did not even look at the evidence. Hold on, Mr. Ashby.
All right, so.
You do understand.
I'm not going to sit and relitigate something that I have no knowledge about. I am saying.
But I'm telling you this, and you act like you don't care, and you're talking over me like everyone else does. You all simply don't care, and that's the problem. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you, sir.
But if you're saying I'm like everyone else, then it tells me that this is an ongoing issue. This is my first time speaking to you, and I'm trying to explain to you.
Because I came down there 2 months ago, you've refused to answer any email. You can see the email chain that I've been keeping in correspondence. This is the first time that you've even thought about responding to me. So no, you are acting like everyone else. And to sit here and actually play with my mind, if they have the audacity to think I'm stupid. Are you crazy?
You have a good day, sir.
You know what? I'm going to say something to you. I'm going to have a very, very good day. I'm going to have a very good day, and you're going to have one real soon, okay?
Somebody tell old Ruthless Toothless, a.k.a. Laura Goodwin, it's up.